Hi, hello, I'm Amy. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my June TBR game to see what I will be putting on my TBR for the month. I did manage to finish all but the optional book that was on my TBR for last month, which is exciting considering I didn't do any of my, was it April TBR at all? So let's see what I'll be reading this month. I'll go ahead and move over to the other camera. Same as always, just rolling my dice. I'll be moving across the board and drawing cards based on whichever color space I land on. I did forget to grab my TBR jar, so I will need to do that here in a second. But we got 12. I don't know if you can see that very well. So I got 12 for the first roll. Subbox book. Again. I did swap out the book that I was going to read last month for my subbox book. Let me go over to filming. So, so I read Rings of Fate instead of Seek the Traitor's Son. So I do still have 3 options left. I have Seek the Traitor's Son by Veronica Roth. This story might save your life by Tiffany Crum. And The X's by Leodora Darlington. And then I also have the book that's coming from Book of the Month this in like a week or so, I think. But I'm just gonna go with the ones that I physically have on my shelf. And I think I did pick this one last time. But I think I'm gonna go with This Story Might Save Your Life by Tiffany Crum. And just to kind of read a little bit of the synopsis in the blurb. Best friends Benny and Joy like to say they've been saving each other's lives since the moment they met, until the day Joy disappears and Benny is suspected of her murder. So that's the blurb. I think that might be as far as I go with that. I like the cover. It's kind of a textured cover, but I think this will be my first pick. And let's see what else I'm going to get. Okay, here we go. So roll number 2. Oh, not very far. Just a 1. And this one is, I think I'm doing the dark purple for the cards, and then the light purple goes to my TBR jar. So let me grab that. Okay, my TBR jar. We don't get. Made a purple slip. I believe are ebooks. I've been getting quite a few ebooks lately. Witch King. Let me pull that up really quick. So I'm not entirely sure, but I think it's Witch King by Martha Wells. And I'm not sure what I have it on, whether it's on Google eBooks, Nook, or Kindle. But either way, the synopsis is, after being murdered, his consciousness dormant and unaware of the passing time, while confined in an elaborate water trap, Kai awakens to find a lesser mage attempting to harness Kai's magic to his own advantage. That was never going to go well. But why was Kai imprisoned in the first place? What has changed in the world since his assassination? And why does the Rising World Coalition appear to be growing in influence? Kai will need to pull his allies close and draw on all his pain magic if he's to answer even the least of these questions. He's not going to like the answers. So that sounds interesting, intriguing. So hopefully I will enjoy that one. And we'll go back over. Oh, I got another one. All right, so I got dark blue, which is one of my cards. Let's see if I can get them all. Spread them all out pretty good, and I think I'm gonna go with this one. Fantasy. That one should be easy. I think 80% of the books on my shelf are fantasy. So let me pick a few options for that. I have a ton of options for this, but I am just going to pick 3 and go from those. So I have Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. The last book in the Caraval series, or trilogy, by Stephanie Garber. I may pick this one just because I want to finish the series. And then I also have Until the Stars Fall by Vanessa Rasanen. I've wanted to read this one since it came out. It is by an author that I used to work with personally, so that's exciting. Let me see. I think I am going to go ahead and go with Finale by Stephanie Garber. Again, so hopefully I can finish the trilogy and we'll see what happens. Since it is the 3rd book in a series, we do have a fantasy world where there's, I guess, a traveling almost carnival, the Caraval, which is I would say it's one of those all immersive experiences where you play a role kind of and follow clues to try and win the game, almost like a treasure hunt or a scavenger hunt, and whoever wins gets a wish. So far we've followed 2 sisters who have each participated in the game, so I'm excited to see what happens in this 3rd book. There definitely was kind of a cliffhanger at the end of the last one, so I'm excited to see what happens, and that will be my 2nd or 3rd pick. Hopefully I don't get another 1. 7. You can kind of see that. I kind of tried to see if I had a better looking dice or an easier to read dice from camera, but I couldn't find one, so I may have to make one with resin. And I got another light blue. Do I have? No. Yes, I have a few light blue ones. Surprisingly, not very many. Purple one wanted to escape there. We'll go with this one. Malevolent. Oh, this one looks kind of spooky. Okay. So Malevolent is by Jana Delian. Everyone wondered about Shane Archer's past, including Shane. Shane Archer's life effectively began the night police found her in an alley, beaten and abused with no memory of the previous 15 years. Not even her name. 9 years later, she's a licensed private investigator with a single goal: to get answers for her clients when there aren't supposed to be any. And maybe someday, answers for herself. So it looks like this is a start of a series. It sounds like a mystery, maybe a thriller. So that could be a good mix of genres for the month. 11. You can see that very well. Okay. Gosh, ebooks really are. I wanted to read more physical books. Oops. The oranges want some attention. Hey, you shouldn't be here. 2 strangers search for the truth behind bizarre occurrences no one else dares to discuss, only to discover that they're connected by secrets that could destroy them both. A thrilling and twisty novel by the acclaimed author of the Mindy's Book Studio pick I'll Stop the World. Haven't heard of that one, but it's by Lauren Thompson. You Shouldn't Be Here. So it's mystery thriller, adventure. Two strangers search for clues. Their investigations begin to point towards the same dark place. So that sounds good. Couple of, well, a fantasy, maybe a couple of fantasies, a couple of mystery thrillers. Go back. $11 again. Okay, so I have 5 books. So I'm going to say, I think I decided the last time that if I have 5 or less, or if I have less than 5, then I add a prompt. If I have more than 5, then I don't draw one. And if I have 5, it's going to be optional. I don't know why I'm shuffling these. Okay. And this color. A book that has been adapted into a movie or TV show. Okay, so my options for books that have been adapted into a movie or a TV show, we have City of Bones by Cassandra Clare, The Shadowhunters. So this one's technically both a movie and a TV show, though I may have only watched a couple of episodes of the TV show. I did watch the movie. This would be a reread, so I don't think I'm going to pick this one. And then I had Shadow and Bone, which I know is a TV show, and I've been meaning to pick that one up for a while. It's still on my shelf because my set is still shrink wrapped, and unless I'm planning on reading it, I'm just going to leave it that way. And then I have The Screaming Staircase by Jonathan Stroud, and I have had this on my TBR several times. It is YA, which is probably part of the reason why I haven't gotten to it yet. We follow a young girl who joins a ghost hunting, I guess, agency, and all of the ghost hunters are kids because they're the only ones that are able to fight ghosts. The adults can't even see them, if I remember right. But they can also be killed by ghosts. So that's a thing. The TV series was very entertaining. I enjoyed it a lot, so I would kind of like to see how the series goes. So that one, I think, is the one I'm going to go ahead and pick for that, which leaves me with only 3 physical books. And that one is optional. Which might not be a great idea just because then I might not get to it. We have The Story Might Save Your Life by Tiffany Crum, which is my book subscription box pick. Finale, which one was that for? Fantasy. Screaming Staircase, which was a book that was adapted to film or TV series. And then I also have the 3 ebooks, You Shouldn't Be Here, Witch King, and Malevolent. So that should be fun. A good mix of fantasy, thriller, and maybe contemporary. I'm not entirely sure which genre this is, but we shall see. Maybe that one's thriller, horror. Who knows? So 2 or 3 different genres. But that's going to be it for me today. I did get a comment with a prompt for if I land on the community prompt spot on my board. So if anybody else wants to contribute to that, that would be fantastic. You can leave that in the comments below. Just any kind of a prompt that you can think of that I could use for that space if I land on it in the future. And thanks so much for watching. Hope you have a great reading month and happy reading. Talk to you next time. Bye-bye.